Shalom Yashrala. First and foremost, I give a praises to Yahweh. Bashin Yawashai. Hope the Spirit will me do this video. This is about to run me back at you another lesson. We're going to short little lesson. Hopefully, we edifying and serve this purpose. As you know, the Super Bowl, it's this past Sunday, and they had, and they had a so-called Latino, perform at the halftime show in the name of Bad Bunny. For those who don't know, Bad Bunny is a, Spanish-speaking, he's a Spanish-speaking artist, and he just not too long won a Grammy for the best album sold that was not in non-English, so he's big right now, and they had him perform at the Super Bowl this weekend, but it didn't sit well with Donald Trump, because as you know, Trump's whole agenda from he been in power was to roll out, all those people that ain't American citizens or was not, and as you know, this month also is known as so-called Black History Month, so Bad Bunny basically made a tribute to basically all of the blacks, in the world, and the Hispanics, and Trump didn't like that, So I can play this 2 short clips, from TikTok about how Trump felt, about his performance, about Bad Bunny's performance at the Super Bowl.
Yo tengo una, mañana otra, pero no hay boda, Titi me pay. 4 de julio fue el de July, ando con mi prima borracha Rulay, los míos en el Bronx.
Yes, the Super Bowl halftime show is absolutely terrible, one of the worst ever. It makes no sense. It's an affront to the greatness of America and doesn't represent our standards of success, creativity, or excellence. Nobody understands a word this guy is saying, and the dancing is disgusting, especially for children that are watching from throughout the U.S. and all over the world. This show is just a slap in the face to our country, which is setting new standards. And we know what them new standards is, to get rid of all immigrants, out of the U.S. It says, which this show is slap in the face to our country, which is setting new standards and records every single day, including the best stock market and 401k in history. There's nothing inspirational about this mess of a halftime show, and watch. It will get great reviews from the fake news media because they haven't got a clue of what is going on in the real world. And by the way, the NFL should immediately replace its ridiculous new kickoff rule, making America great again, President Donald Trump said. So this is how Trump feels about the Super Bowl halftime show. The performance from Bad Bunny, who is, a Latino, an Israelite. So this just going to show you that no matter who you is, whether you be poor, whether you be rich, whether you be famous or non-famous, these devils don't care who you is. If you ain't of their color, or if you ain't, of their people, they can full on hate you, And he didn't even know the reason why he hating on Bad Bunny. His reason for it is because the show was a slap on the face, all because he gave, a tribute to all of the Spanish speaking countries and then the black countries all around the world. So this just gonna show that this devil hates you no matter who you is.
Here's what President Donald Trump had to say about Bad Bunny's halftime show. He called the show, quote, absolutely terrible, one of the worst ever. Bad Bunny's performance featured stars including Lady Gaga and Ricky Martin. He also delivered a unifying message, expanding the meaning of God Bless America to include all nations of the Americas, from Chile to Canada. Trump said it was a slap in the face and, quote, nobody understands a word the Puerto Rican rapper was saying. Trump's criticism comes just a week after Bad Bunny's historic win at the Grammys, where his album became the first Spanish language record to take home Album of the Year. Here's what
So right now, Bad Bunny is hot. He's hot in the world right now, He just won a Grammy for the first Spanish-speaking album to win Album of the Year, And then he gave a tribute to all countries, to all So like, so all Spanish-speaking countries throughout the world, and then the black countries also. But that don't sit well with Trump. That don't sit well with Donald Trump. The president. So like, so I can bring out some precepts. Hopefully, it'll be edifying. First precept is going to be Genesis 27:41. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him, and said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand, then I will slay my brother Jacob. So from the very beginning, from in the womb, this hatred started. So this ain't nothing that's just some sort of brought up to you or something new. This started from the beginning, from way before our time, all because of the promise that, their father Isaac gave to Jacob. Esau hated that, all because Esau sold his birthright to Jacob. He hated that, all this started from the beginning, as it says, the days of mourning of my father are at hand, then will I slay my brother Jacob. And this is what he's doing in today's time. He's always antagonizing, Jake. He's always picking at Jake, always trying to go after Jake. This is something he had in his mind from the very beginning, and it's, throughout the generations, it's still happening. So this is nothing new underneath the sun. There's nothing new underneath the sun. This book of Romans 9:13. It reads, as it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. So the Most High, he don't love Esau. So it says, Jacob have I loved, Esau have I hated. The hatred that Esau is showing towards Jacob is the same thing as, it's the same kind of hatred the Most High is showing to Esau. The Most High hate Esau the same way as Esau hates us. All because of the things that Esau have done towards his brother. All because of all the wicked, nasty things Esau has done towards his brother. The Most High has a perpetual hatred for them, the same way how they have perpetual hatred towards, Jacob. Jacob being the Negroes, Latinos, and the Native Americans, and the speckled bird among you, to the four corners of the world. It'll always be a perpetual hatred for Jake to from Esau. So this is nothing new. No matter who you is, you could be the most richest man in the world. If Esau don't like you, Esau don't like you. We are seeing examples of this from Kanye. He spoke out against them. What happened? They froze his money. He was a millionaire one day, and the next day he wasn't. Nick Cannon, they took a show from him. Kyrie Irving, in my last video, as you see, he spoke out on them. It ain't the first time he done it. He faced repercussions for it. No matter who you is, you could be rich, you could be poor. If you ain't with Esau system, if you ain't kissing the hip, following in their ways, they can always have a hatred towards you. They can always come after you. And as you see, Trump is doing it right now to Bad Bunny, saying that that's the worst halftime show ever, but everyone else is saying different. He's the only one right now who's hating. He's the only one right now who's hating. Only one right now who's hating. He is saying that that's the most worst halftime show ever, and the NFL did change their rules for who all perform. He only want to see his people succeed. He don't care about you. But guess what? Our people believe because he tell them sweet things from time to time. He tell them things that they love to hear. Give them a little incentive here and then that he on their side. But he is still planning and drawing up ways to overthrow, and keep his foot on your neck. It does last precept. It's the book of Ecclesiastes, also known as this is the book of Sirach, also known as Ecclesiastes and Apocrypha. 12:10. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rust, so is his wickedness. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. And thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust has not altogether, so like it has not been altogether wiped away. You know, you can't trust this devil. You know, the only thing you could trust this devil to do is to be the devil, is to be himself. You know, and he show it all the time. You know, tell you one thing and do the next. You know, he is suck up to you one day, and the next day he's again back at you. You know, full pressure, foot on the gas. But our people don't see that, because when they see Massa, they praising him, kissing their hip. You know, bowing down to their legs. You know, to their knees, to their foot. You know, kissing the floor that they walk on. You know, go crazy when they see Massa. You know, see Esau. You know, go crazy for that. But in their heart, you know, in their mind, they thinking about ways to overthrow you. You know, but our people don't see it that way. You know, no matter how much we try to tell them, you know, warn them, you know, show them examples of it, they still don't see it. You know, our people want to believe that Esau is so good towards them. You know, that he is so righteous. You know, but he's always thinking about ways he could overthrow Drake. You know, he's always thinking about ways he could continue to put the foot, you know, on your necks. But nonetheless, hopefully this lesson was much edifying and served its purpose. I give a praises to Yahweh Bashim and Mashai for putting the spirit upon me to this video. Shalom.